Oh my gosh, look at this. I'm being chased by a network turbo. I don't know why I'm calling it network or turbo. Oh my gosh, stop alerter. Hello everybody, welcome back to Train Sim World, where we're playing the Great Western Express 1L48 Swansea to London Paddington. We're not actually starting in Swansea, we're starting in Reading, and our goal is basically just to zoom out from here and head to Swansea. And what we got to do is basically turn on our master key first. We got to turn our engine to forward. We got to turn our DSD on to from isolate to normal. Geez, you're staring at me, buddy. Why? Train spotter. Anyway, turn on our AWS to normal as well. It's kind of hard to work with him there. Turn on our cab light from either side. It doesn't matter which one we use. Get our brake from full service to running. And make sure our parking brake is shut off in case that happens to be on. Turn on our headlight to day headlamp and markers because it's only 12 noon. And make sure our train supply is definitely on. And let us head out. Goodbye, sir. We've got other places to go. If the train will move, no, it will not, because the train brake pipe pressure had not completely evacuated. There we go. Our train's finally moving. Bye, buddy. Bye. Anyway, our train pipe pressure has evacuated officially. We didn't need to pick up any passengers because if I go back to camera 3, everybody's already loaded in our train. And this guy's trying to chase me down. What the heck? Is he mad because he didn't get in the train? I mean, look at his face. He doesn't look like the happiest camper in the world as we're trying to... Or maybe it was this guy. Oh, that's right. The guy with the suitcase. Well, you two look alike. I'm sorry. Never mind. So we could probably bump this up to throttle 5. I know we might have run into wheel slip because my amperes are just slightly over the top. Like I said in the very beginning, we are officially starting from Swansea, but the map, of course, doesn't give us Swansea at all. The map gives us basically this convoluted thing that you can't even see here. So if you look on the screen instead, Swansea is actually located all the way on the west side of England, or the UK, and nowhere near us. And I kind of wish Dovetail Games gave us the opportunity to really drive from Swansea eventually to places like Bristol, to eventually places like Reading, and finally London. So with us passing the 125 miles per hour, we will eventually click into that once our train kind of gets there. Our goal to get to Reading, to get to London Paddington, we have to get there by 12:29. So we have officially, oh gosh, maybe 25 minutes to roll along here with one-stop express train. So one of the first things I want to get into, this part of the car right here. So this area happened to be the guard department, so to speak. This is where the guard goes. The guard hangs out in here. They also put bike storage as well in here. Now, the guard compartment originally used to be in here. Right, this is probably why we can't go in, because the engine's like right next to it. And the guard compartment was also considered an auxiliary driving cab. There was a small window next to the gangway. Basic controls for reversing was actually in there, but it was so little used, both of those things were actually removed, both the window and the reversing control. That's why you don't notice anything besides this big window there and this thing. This might have actually been that little window for all we know. Who knows? The guard compartment, as you can hear, was so noisy that eventually the union group got involved, and the railroad basically had to incorporate the guard compartment into the standard class car right next to the power car, and it was still used for bicycles and parcels, which is what you happen to put right back there. The guard compartment of the rear power car, in other words, the one that we were looking at back there, is considered the guard normal riding position. So gauges back there that are applicable to the guard normal duties include a brake pipe pressure gauge. That's the first thing. A duplex brake cylinder pressure gauge. A duplex main reservoir pressure gauge. This lake is absolutely gorgeous right there. I love that way that looks right there. Even better than Dan Patch, I think. It even extends onto the opposite side, which is really awesome. The duplex main reservoir pressure gauge indicates the pressure in the main reservoir of the power car on one scale, and the pressure which is fed into the main reservoir pipe of the train onto the other scale. The luggage department, or the luggage compartment, there's a luggage loading gauge, which actually tells you how much weight can actually be carried. Now, if you think about this, here I am on notch 5. These cards actually do tell you, if you look at the side of the engine and the car, this happens to be class 43, tells you the weight and all that good stuff. It actually tells you how many people can fit in here. It looks like 84 seats and whatnot. So it does tell you the weights and whatnot, but the train probably can only handle so much weight before it has any issues realistically with driving the car. There's our esteemed American friend. She's in our train already with her dignitaries. Look at this. This is awesome. I mean, look at this. This is just amazing. I love the fact how many people drive on this train already here. All of them going express to Reading, or not to Reading, London, Paddington. Other things that were sitting in that guard compartment at the time, back then, at least for the prototype, includes an emergency brake valve, train lights on, train lights off switch, which would handle the light of the cars in there. So something to think about that. They had a driver / guard communication control unit, which I assume was replaced by this wonderful buzzer system. They included audio navigator equipment, guard passenger communication control unit. Of course, you gotta talk to the passengers, right? And 2 sets of track circuits, operating clip, whatever the heck those things are. When detached from the coaches, these 2 power cars, the one in the front and the one in the back, they actually have to be reconnected together, and they essentially are designed to travel together. It's funny that this glare is like right there, and I'm kind of wondering what the glare is that's just bouncing my window there, and it's got to be something. Got to be something on my window that's kind of making that glare happen. But as I can tell, my window's a little bit scratched up, and my guy's not driving his train. He's not doing the right thing here, people. Totally not doing the right thing, but at least he looks spiffy and astute. So folks, we just passed Maidenhead, and something to keep in mind, me being the driver here in this driving compartment, I've got this little small compartment. I'm sure back there's gotta be a toilet. I mean, if I've got to go to the bathroom, that means I'm waiting 30 minutes to go to the bathroom, and it would probably kind of suck. I might even have to use this as my loo. I doubt that. That's probably for male. Who knows? As the driver of this train, I am not allowed to leave the driving compartment. If you remember the last episode when I left, I said something about turning the master lock off. However, the master lock in Train Sim World for HST does not actually leave the train, so I can't actually take it out physically, but the driver is supposed to remove the master key when they leave the train. They're supposed to move the automatic brake controller, in other words this thing, all the way up to emergency, in other words to notch 6, and of course apply the parking brake. I can't leave the train until those things are officially done. Now the guards themselves, if there was actually a guard on this train, maybe multiplayer will one day bring a guard. That would be nice, right? If there was a guard on this train, guards working on the train are expected to work the operation of lighting and air conditioning switches. They're expected to work the audio navigator equipment and the guard passenger communication control unit. Of course, I'm the driver. Why would I have time to talk to passengers going 125 miles an hour? I need to make sure I'm going straight and nobody's walking over that yellow line in the passenger stations, right? Guards are expected to couple and uncouple the train. The guards also are responsible for ensuring the destination indicators are correctly displayed on either side of the train. So if we just pop out here, we should see destination indicators. I assume that might be related to it, who knows? But there should be destination indicators on the side of the train. This train, I just can't see where they are. It just doesn't seem to have it. And that's kind of what I'm wondering about. Where is the destination indicators for the HST? How do I know this thing is going to London Paddington? How do I know it's not going to Acton Main Yard? How do I know? It doesn't really tell you. So if you guys happen to know from the real life HSTs, please tell me. There is a network turbo stopping at this wonderful station here, which I doubt will catch the name because it goes so fast, but if I just hop out, I'm sure I'll know where we last left off at that station. So the high-speed train here is outfitted with a tail light, and we just hop in the back. Train Sim World actually turned on the tail light for you, which is honestly rather convenient. Rather convenient, I'd say, but realistically, the driver has to switch on that tail light, and this must be illuminated during daylight as well as night hours, and the guard must ensure the tail light is switched on before the journey is started. And because we don't have a guard, that system and the tail light is set up automatically. We're about 15 miles away from London Paddington, so we'll be there in no time flat. Handbrakes are not actually provided in the guard compartment. Of course, we can't even see it, so we don't actually know if there are handbrakes in the guard compartment. All we can do is just kind of speculate because they didn't model some of this stuff in where we can actually open the door and just kind of check stuff out on our own. However, because they're not provided in the guard compartment, the guard must advise the driver whether or not they're leaving the train to protect that train in accordance with the train rules in relation to the guard dealing with the handbrakes itself. And so the guard also has to inform the driver when he or she returns back to the train. And in the event there's an accident somehow in this train, the driver does need to take some kind of action to extinguish that fire, right? So if there's a fire in this train, that is why we have this little option here to deal with the fire and to be able to hit that button and do a few things there. The driver must do whatever they can to put out the fire on this end. The guard's expected to put out the opposite end of the train and deal with protecting that side. And so if a fire broke out in the tail end of the train, the driver's not responsible for that at all. It's all up to the guard. So with me driving this train and no guard on this train's in danger, man. If the cab is double manned, and it's never double manned here, even though he has a really nice posse compared to the seat I'm in here. The second man is expected to protect the opposite line only if there's two people in this train. If they have to do multiplayer for Dovetail games, it would be fun to have like a second man driver situation. That would be kind of fun to do. You guys might remember me mentioning the fact that the guard needs to manage the weight of the packages and whatnot once the packages go onto the train. However, before the packages and parcels get on the train, or even luggage, the platform supervisor is actually the one that's responsible for maintaining and checking whether or not that is not exceeding 1 ton, a total of 1 ton, not just per package, but in total, if the power car is fully fueled. We already know that in Train Sim World, this power car is going to be instantly fueled fully, because there's nothing to be done with refueling, even though there is a refueling stand to be able to work with that. The person in charge of the station platform at which any of this traffic is loaded must ensure that this limit is not exceeded. Keep in mind there's a lot of stations here, so by now, if you think about it, this train is not stopping just because we probably have the maximum amount of weight already on this train. Let me actually slow this train down, because we got to get down to 100 miles an hour or we're going to screw myself before I get to London Paddington, and that would just be dumb. Here we go. Oh my god, this is cutting it really close. Wow, I got it just in time. That was amazing. Good job, me. The luggage loading gauge on the train I mentioned earlier, that thing is designed to basically tell you whether or not the limit is exceeded, and if that actually happened, needs to be looked at to make sure the maximum permissible load has not been exceeded. We're actually going to be extra early to London Paddington, depending on how I drive this train. I'm kind of like bordering the speed limit here, and I realize I've got like almost 10 minutes to work with. Probably not, more like 5 minutes to work with. So I could probably pick up some speed anyways to maintain maybe 80 miles an hour before I hit that 50 zone up ahead. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that go on with running these trains, a lot of rules and expectations, surprisingly, to run just a simple HST train. Like I said, even though I say it's simple, it is not simple at all. It is a very fine-tuned, highly regulated machine that it takes a lot of work for someone to actually figure out how to run this. Oh my gosh, look at this. I'm being chased by a network turbo. I don't know why I'm calling it network turbo. Oh my gosh, stop alerter. So that guy may actually catch me as I slow down a little bit, because I'm going to be going 50 pretty soon. So let me see if I can maybe catch this at the same time. That would be kind of cool if we can do that. I'm already going to exceed the speed limit here, so we gotta... Let's go ahead and train brake 4 and hope for the best that we can kind of stop this train in time. We're back on the running brake. It's going to take a little time for the brake cylinder to kind of fill back up before I can actually get myself moving anyways. But that's probably okay because I got a 40 mile an hour zone. And I think by now I can probably put some power and we can finally get this thing moving. We'll see. This network turbo is going to pass us any second now, because they are going to be exceeding the speed limit themselves. I don't actually know how they can do it pretty easily, but I presume we might be on for a race to London Paddington. So while we're just coasting along for our last mile and a half, we're about to wrap up this episode pretty quick. So as usual, if you've been enjoying this, please definitely like and subscribe and leave me comments as we go along. I really would appreciate what you guys think. I'm not from the UK. I'm hoping I'm finding the right research to kind of, give you some surprises and whatnot, especially if you are from the UK. If you're from the US, I really hope that you are enjoying the series. and just kind of getting a little taste of something different than American Rail. I want to try to see if I can try, you know, a little bit of everything. And what I've been trying to do again is work off the oldest train sim content and work my way forward over time. And I am going to speed if I can't get this train down to 40. Okay, thank goodness. Wow. So if I can't get this train down to 40, that's really close there. We got to stop in about a mile. So like I said, I was trying to do the old content because, you know, a lot of people tend to be focused on the new content, but they're not always considering the old content or even looking at some of that anymore because they're like, well, that happened in 2020 or that happened in 2017, so why do we need to look at it today? And after driving it, this game, Great Western Express, is aging really well. More so than Zampatch Grade, because Zampatch graphics were kind of like on the iffy side. But I gotta give Great Western Express a lot of kudos here. They're aging extremely well compared to Zampatch Grade, honestly. And one of the things that's happened in the core update is we actually got an update to rain effects. So one of the episodes I did without the rain effects on the core update, and then eventually there will be a future episode with the core effect rain, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing the difference on the windscreen. We're coming up on our final destination, final stop. We have a 25-mile-an-hour zone just up ahead here, and I'm probably going to have to slow down a lot more because our stop's actually in 400 yards, and we probably want to go down to like 20, 15, and just kind of coast our way in. We've at least got 2 minutes, give or take, to stop. And realistically, we have to unload passengers, but there's no time limit on unloading passengers, so that's totally fine. With us coming around to platform 2, it is important, however, to, you know, do that thing to honk the horn and just kind of let people know what's going on. We don't need anybody walking in the yellow line. Even though nobody's here, we probably don't have to worry about that at all. Going at the slow speed, we probably don't even need to honk the horn either. Let's see if we can get ourselves down to 10, because I'm probably about to crash this train, and it's going to be kind of dumb if I ruin this entire scenario because I crashed the train. Oh my gosh, please don't stop here. Please don't stop here. That's just dumb. I don't want to stop here. Don't stop here. Don't stop here. Oh, I stopped there. Oh my god, what? That was just dumb. Can I just keep going? Oh good, I can. Okay, thank goodness. That was just dumb, man. Well, at least you got 225 AP for that. That was just ridiculous. So let's go ahead and move my train up a little bit more. We do have to stop at least at the yellow line there. And I screwed up the ending right there. At least I didn't hit the very end. All we have to do is just unlock the door and we are set. That would do. This is a better place to stop. Let's go ahead and get those left doors unlocked. And as usual, we just turn on the DRA. And for the sake of this, we might as well turn on the parking brake because that's pretty much it where we're stopping here. All we got left to this mission is honestly just letting our passengers disembark. A lot of times they just appear out of thin air, and I don't exactly know how they make that work because they're in the train, and I swear they just automatically disappear and leave. There goes one of them. I saw one of them do it right there. That one disappeared and then just reappears here. And you can already see we have the Secret Service walking this wonderful person out of our train and taking them somewhere. So something I didn't notice about this, folks, is the light actually turned on there. That's really interesting. I like that. So I presume if the mission doesn't end, it's either because we're still unloading people. Yeah, well, I think we're still unloading people because there's people just disappearing from my train here. They're not completely unloaded yet. This person's a little stuck on the wall. A couple other people are still trying to get on my train, and at some point the train will be completely empty and the mission, I think, will finally come to an end, and I think it needs me to shut the door in order for that to even happen. Okay, I did check on that. That was interesting. So there were so many passengers in here, it took forever for this train to finally get unloaded. My goodness. So we can finally lock the doors and finally wrap up this mission and call it a day. 9720 was my AP score. That was actually really good. I got platinum points for this, and you can kind of see what I did here. This actually was pretty good on-time bonus, 79 accuracy bonus, 146. I kind of screwed that one up. Good job, me. But yeah, so I used safety systems. I got that right. Yay, that must have been the core winter update because I finally doesn't say NA anymore. But yeah, so folks, if you like this one, definitely like and subscribe and leave me comments. And of course, tell me what you guys think about HST and Great Western Express, and even what you might want to see in the future. I do have a lot of the older train sim content, and then slowly working sale after sale to pick up some new stuff as I go along. So as usual, we'll see you in the next one. That was kind of interesting. The platinum medal just slid right over. All right, folks. Bye for now. I need to probably overspeed this. I am so bad. My goodness. If the red light was right here, I'd be screwed right about now. But I think I'm going to make it. I might just barely make it. Let's hope for the best. Oh yeah, full service, full service. Oh my god, I got it right on a T. That is awesome. 240 AP.